So here it is, my tutorial on how to make blueprints for your Kerbal space program ships. Okay, so there are two mods that you're going to need. The first one is going to be the Kernel Vessel Viewer, which is what you use to make the orthographic sketches of your spacecraft. And you're going to need the Kerbal Engineer Redux, which is going to give you information on your delta V and stuff like that. So just hit download and then take them into your game file, and yeah, easy. So if you've installed the mods correctly, they should be down here at the bottom right, KVV and the Kerbal Engineer Redux mod. So basically what this does is it gives you all the information on the different stages, the thrust, torque, delta V and such, and you can change the altitude to see how it changes according to that, and you can change the planet that it's on, so the gravity will change and stuff. What the KVV mod does is this. It pretty much does everything for you. I had lots of people ask me about expanding my last blueprint and showing all the different stages, and the problem with that is if you hit offset view, it separates out all the individual stages. So as you can see here, this is one stage, but I haven't separated out every individual item or part because it all counts as one stage. So that's the one problem with it. You can probably get around it by clicking, dragging off each individual part, but yeah. So the ship I'm going to use to make the blueprints for this tutorial is my own design of a satellite that I am going to use to get to Eve. So yeah, here it is, bottom right, KVV, we hit it, and here we can see the craft. It's pretty much done already, just a few tweaks. So some people suggested that I just get the line, the main outside lines. You can do that by taking the gamma all the way down, which gets rid of all the color and just gives you these basic outlines, but I like to leave a little bit of color just for some detail. Okay, if you change the black, it changes the color behind and does some weird stuff. I always leave it at the blue because it's easy to work with. And the white, you can change how bright and how dark it is, so you can see the detail increasing there. Edge detect. Normal power is the power of the line, so the higher the power, the outside lines, I guess, show more, and the weaker the power, then the more detail you get. I like leaving it a little bit behind so you can see some of the detail and it looks good. Depth power is just depth of view, so take all the way down, be black all the way there, you get the full spectrum. I might take it down a bit so you can see most things. Okay, shadow, leave that. Okay, so here. Screenshot is just taking the file quality. You can take it all the way up, make a huge file, which you don't really need unless you want to print it off. So I leave it at the 3 that it's standard at. Okay, so for my isometric drawings, I'm gonna have 4 different views of this: the top, the side, the front, and an isometric of it. By the way, this orthographic thing button, if you unclick it, it takes all perspective. So as you can see, it goes together at the top and goes together at the bottom. So it's more realistic, but it's not really what you want for blueprint. So we're going to get the top first. So you just hit these to rotate it. It's quite slow, but it works. Yeah, so here I have the top done, just hit screenshot. And when that's back up, then I can move it again and do my next side view. Now for the isometric view, I'm going to see how many of these things I can open up so it shows as much detail as possible. So I'm going to, let's see, open all of those up and avoid the thermal. The landing struts, I'll leave those in for now. And yeah, I think I'll just leave it like that. So what's cool about this mod is it shows it in real time. So if I hit normal, you can see it changing there, and if I deploy it, you can see it changing right here. Okay. Rotates it so you can see all three, and you see all three adjustments. Happy with that. And finally, what you're going to want to do is just look at this, and you can take a screenshot of all the dimensions and weights and stuff, and if you hit this, you can just make a note of the cost, the mass, IFP, SB, thrust, torque, all that. Delta V and burn time. 2 hours. It's because it's being done on gas, so stuff burns for ages. Okay, so I forgot to mention where you find these. They're in your main Kerbal Space Program game file under screenshots, so where your normal screenshots will go. Okay, so open them up in your photo editor. I think GIMP has pretty much the same tools as Photoshop, but I'm using Photoshop because I know how to use it, and it's easy enough for me. So the first thing we're going to want to do is the magic wand tool and get rid of all this blue in these places here, there, and there. So we're just left with this main ship. So we just click, delete, and just zoom in quickly. Click, delete, get rid of all these. And yeah, there we go. Now we're just left with this. So now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get rid of any color. So like any of this yellowish tint here and up there. So the quick command for that is Control-Shift-U, and it makes the whole image black and white. So now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to apply filter, stylize, find edges. So what that's going to do is going to find all the edges. That's a bit dodgy, but it might work. So now we have this. You're thinking, oh, that looks alright, it'll probably work. Well, you see we have these black lines, and we want these lines to be white. So if you hit Control-U, it inverts, Control-I, it inverts the image, and all the black becomes white and all the white becomes black. So now here we have this. Now we can just take this whole image and put it onto our paper. This is an image that I found on Google. Put the link in the description. So Control-V, and then here we have our ship, and then hit Control-T just to scale it, and you can just do it like that, but if you hold Shift it keeps it in perspective and put the proportions the same. So hold Shift and drag to just change the scale. Okay, looking good. Enter. So now we're pretty much almost there. It's really easy now. You just go blending mode and you go to screen, and voila, here you have blueprint image. So I'm just going to do the same real quick for the other three images. I'll just go over them quickly again. Just so get rid of the blue, delete, get rid of all the color, Control-Shift-U, and filter, find edges, Control-I to invert it, and paste it, scale it. You can probably keep all these the same scale some time, but I'm just going to put this in very lightly up there. Yeah. Blend mode, screen, and we have the blue. Okay, so now we have all our blueprints on. And the lines are a bit faint, as you can see they're quite thin on this image, so what you can always do is click on the image that you want. I'll do it on this one. Actually, I might scale this one up a bit more. Too much, okay. And you hit Control L, which will bring up the levels where you can change. So if we take this one down, you can see all the lines start disappearing. If you take this one up, you can see the lines start getting thicker, but it shows more definition. So you can bring that one up, take that down, so then you only see the main lines. I'm going to bring that up a bit because it looks a bit better with a few more lines. Okay, there we go. That's just how you get the lines to appear a bit thicker and such. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. I'll annotate them and I'll just show you the final result of what you can create. Yeah, so here it is, the final design. It's quite messy. The labeling isn't perfect. Nothing's perfect on it, but it has some dimensions, it has the stats, has everything it needs on it. So yeah, this is the end of the tutorial. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell me what I should have done better, if anything, of course. And yeah, tell me what you want to see next if you want any more tutorials on something. Bye bye.